5-step drop. Now going to pump and throw down the sideline. Kittle! He's got it and he's gone! Touchdown! San Francisco!
Breaks a tackle, good shifty move, gets that, still going! McCaffrey's gonna score! Pressure coming, Purdy looking for Ayuk. Oh, what a dime by Brock Purdy!
And here's Purdy on a 2nd and 5. Throws over the middle. Wide open, Ricky Pearsall's got the catch. 20, 15, 10, 5. Pearsall all the way to the goal line. Touchdown! McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5. Touchdown! And he's inside of Debo left. Brock again chased out by DeMonte Raymond Jones. Brock going to run for the end zone and dive for the end zone. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Hello and welcome. My name is Carlos Montanez. I'm here joined with my brother Jorge Montanez and his son, also Jorge Montanez. And this is First and Faithful. We're here. We're live. We are recording this podcast. It's our first episode. We're really excited. Why don't we go around and introduce who we are and kind of why we're doing this podcast? I'll start off. Carlos Montanez again. I've been a 49ers fan my whole life. Really excited to do this. We've always wanted to do a podcast, and just there was one time where my brothers and I were talking, and we just love, talking about 49ers and 49ers football, and we were like, well, why don't we just talk about it with other people, So
it's kind of a way to it's kind of a way for all of us to kind of stay connected and engaged with each other as brothers, and my son here. So we're all big time Niner fans, so we figured, hey, let's start a podcast, even if it's just for fun, just a way to keep us engaged every week. And we talk about the Niners anyway, so yeah, this will be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun for sure. I always like talking about the 49ers, especially like at school with my friends, just arguing with them. They'll just try and debate about things. But I've been a 49ers fan also. I was kind of born into this, so I've also loved it too. So
yeah, and if we have any friends who are like fans of rival teams or something, like we can always bring them on and debate and have fun like that too. So that would
be awesome. That would be awesome. It's just in our conversations, in our normal conversations, when I call you guys and we're just talking, or we're in the group chat out, during the 49ers games. It's just like our conversations are really, I just love our conversations when we talk about 49ers football. And honestly, it's just, we dive into so many different aspects of the game, and so it's like, why not come together and put something out there where even if one or two people are able to enjoy, listening to our conversations, then great,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the reason we're starting the podcast. We want to go around, we've been 49ers fans almost our whole lives, if not our whole lives. We want to go around kind of discussing what is our 49ers fan defining moment. What made me, what made you guys 49ers fans? What was the moment that you watched live? Like, man, this is awesome.
Yeah, like the first time, like your first like memory of like, yeah, like I'm a Niner fan, like, first exciting moment. For me, I'm a bit older than you guys. I'm 34, so you guys, I have Georgie here is 14, and then you're 21. So for me, mine's gonna be a little bit more, back a little way back before your guys' time. But I was 8 years old, and it was the playoff game, is a play known as the Catch 2 with Steve Young and Terrell Owens, playoff game against Green Bay Packers. And the Steve Young game-winning touchdown to T.O. and T.O., crying on the field, and just, joy, and the joy he had, making that play. That was, like, for me, watching that live was kind of my first defining moment as a Niner fan.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. I wasn't probably alive.
No.
But I do see clips on the internet all the time. That was a really good moment. For me, I've grown up around Niner fans my whole life. You, our dad, and just like being in the Central Valley, there's 49ers fans all around us. Back in when we were in the Super Bowl was it 2012? I remember watching the Super Bowl, but I don't remember being all invested into it.
Yeah.
And I've always been like super, like whenever 49ers football came around, like, yes, awesome, But the moment that really like clicked in my head where it's like, man, I want to watch this on my own accord. I want to like invest, my time or whatever it is, into watching 49ers football was back in 2019. We were in a race for the number 1 seed in the NFC. It was us, it was the Saints, and it was the Seattle Seahawks. It was between the 3 teams of us that were trying to fight for the number 1 seed. And I remember that week, was it week 15? I don't remember what week it was. Playing against the Saints at the Superdome, right? We were down with just a few minutes left in the fourth quarter. George Kittle catch.
Yeah.
Man, George Kittle had that catch. For 49ers fans, if you've been around for a while, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That 49ers catch, taking it down 30 yards, 40 yards with the face mask, setting us up for the game-winning field goal.
Yeah, shaking a tackle, carrying a guy on his back.
That was the moment for me. That was like, man, this team is. I really want to follow this team for sure. What about you, Georgie?
Well, for me, when growing around you guys, my whole family is just 49ers fans, but growing up here in LA, like it's all Rams, like Chargers, Rams, everything like that, Raiders, but like that's kind of our rivals type. So I've been liking the 49ers, but we went to a game. That's like the first game I went to. He took me to like in 2021, I think. It was like our game to make us go into the playoffs. It was versus the Rams. What week was it?
It was week 17,
Week
right?
17, I think. And it was a pretty close game the whole game, but we ended up like picking off Matthew Stafford
in overtime.
Yep. And then I also
we came back to, I think it was like 17-3 at half or something, 20-3.
Yeah, it was something like that. And then we came back, and then I just loved the whole experience watching the Niners. I also have just, as long as I remember watching the Niners, like when I actually watched football, like I just always loved watching Deebo Samuel play, and like I would love watching him score touchdowns, like just shaking off people, as it takes so many people to take him down. I just love watching him on the Niners, and that kind of just made me watch the Niners more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Side note, Georgie here, or Jorge Jr., he's starting football in high school. He's killing it every week. His dad goes to all of, if not most of his games, and he's always talking about how he's doing a really, really good job. So I just want to say that's incredible. And how much of the 49ers football really like inspired you to play football, Georgie?
Everything. It was everything that made me want to play football. Like I grew up like asking my dad every year to play football, but it's not an easy thing to let your son play like a contact sport like that, especially when I'm more little. Like I was kind of like scrawny. So it was kind of just hard, but starting to play football now, it's just, I really love it.
Yeah,
That's
I did
awesome.
flag football the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, it's just that this is why we are 49ers fans. This is why we're doing this podcast. It's a podcast about, first and faithful from the faithful is what we are. We're just talking about 49ers football. Next kind of segment I want to go into is where are the 49ers right now? Are we comfortable with where they're at? Are we not comfortable with where they're at? Going into the season, I know it's week 1 is already behind us. We got week 2 against the Saints tomorrow morning. But how do we feel about the 49ers going into this season? We'll start with you, Jorge.
Oh, man. I think it was a lot of optimism over the summer. Getting Robert Saleh back, having a defensive heavy draft, and kind of having confidence that the defense was going to bounce back, and the offense with Purdy and McCaffrey coming back, knowing we're going to get Ayuk back at some point, expecting the year 2 breakout from Ricky Pearsall, having having the healthy stable of players, and then literally 3 days before opening game, we hear the news about CMC with the injury. And granted, like, it turned out he made it through the game. He looked great. Kind of again, offense ran through him game 1, and he made it out okay. But just getting that injury news, it was almost like, oh, here we go again, like kind of deflating a little bit. And then that's the biggest thing right now is the injuries, right? Like, we kind of don't want a repeat of like last year where guys going down left and right, and season kind of got away from them. And then especially, I'm sure we'll get more into game 1, but Moody misses the field goals, right? Purdy throws a couple of ill-advised, passes that get picked off, and it was. I kind of had flashbacks of the Browns loss last week that Moody cost us, or last year that Moody cost us, and then games with like that we could have had in hand, like the Vikings game when Purdy throws a couple ill-advised interceptions against the Vikings last year, and those were a couple games that that got away that we could have had, and it was like, oh no, like here we go again,
Not
right?
Again.
But right, yeah. So, but hey, we made it through week 1, and I think it's just if we can weather this Purdy injury and come out at least like 500 and get Purdy back, and we'll get Ayuk back before the middle of the season. Hopefully by week 6 he'll be ready to go. And I think the offense is obviously the biggest concern. I love what I saw from the defense week 1. Obviously we know Saleh is a defensive guru, and having our defense healthy right now, and the young players that he was able to get in the draft, I feel good about where our defense is. It's just if the offense can stay healthy.
Yeah. And honestly, I think this offseason it felt a little too perfect, for the 49ers, almost in the sense that, like, okay, we're good. We're going into the season, no injuries. We're going into the season, everyone's healthy. We got CMC, other than Brandon Ayuk. We got CMC, he's healthy. We got George Kittle, he's healthy. We got Brock Purdy, he's healthy. We got our defensive guys, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa. Everybody's healthy. Our core pieces are there. And then, like you said, 3 or 4 days before, the first game
Jennings
of the season
as well. Jennings goes out week 1 as well.
And you're right. It's like a scare of like a repeat of last year. That's one of what the 49ers don't want. And it's almost like, well, the 49ers cannot escape the injury bug. And what I saw, or what I have been thinking is like, what I really think the 49ers have done well and can do more of is kind of acknowledging you can escape the injury bug, but also having pieces in place for when it does happen. For one guy that came up huge in week 1 was Tonjes, right? Jake Tonjes. Yeah. And it's like, what, I've never even heard of this guy before this. You know what I mean? That guy came in clutch, right? And just like having pieces that when your guys do go down, right? It's hard. You don't want to say they will, right? But you got to be ready for when it does happen, kind of thing. And just having players that you have confidence in that can just step in and kind of fulfill that role. We'll get into the next game, later, but we have Mac Jones, right? With Brock Purdy out right now. We got Mac Jones, and we'll get into that later. But I think that just having those pieces to really kind of just step in, it really helps kind of ease a little bit of it. I do agree we have the optimisms, the worries. The injuries are probably the biggest worries, but the optimisms are, our ceiling is the optimism of what we can do this season. The whole narrative going into the season of, the 49ers have the weakest record, right? I don't think that's really going to – I do think it does play a factor, but I don't think it'll determine too much about how our season goes, more so as how we play, how we see our 49ers playing, how we see our defense playing, how we see Brock Purdy, taking on his reads. That's what gives me the optimism for the season.
Yeah, and obviously compared to last year, this team is kind of a whole new team. Like a little bit, we lost a lot of our important players. We lost Greenlaw, we lost Ward, we lost Debo. We kind of lost a few people that are really playing an important role in this team. But we also got a lot new players, and obviously Robert Saleh. We got some new things like new draft picks, stuff like that. And I like what we're coming into this year. It's just we need to stay out of those injuries. We need to stay healthy, stay optimistic with the faithfuls, and just keep it pushing.
Yeah. One of my biggest takeaways from week 1 was I think the defense is going to be legit again. I think I loved what I saw from the combo of D Winters and Fred Warner in the middle. Now another, potentially another great linebacker duo. I mean, at least what we saw from D Winters week 1. I mean, he looks to maybe take a step forward as that next Dre Greenlaw, that could step in next to Warner and really patrol the middle of the field and stop the run. And I love that. I think another big thing will be our pass rush and the development of rookie Michael Williams. Obviously, we have Bosa, but if the Niners have been looking for that other guy, that other piece.
Ever since we lost, Eric Armstead and DeForest Buckner, and even with we had Javon Hargrave, but he was hurt. He got hurt all last
Javon
season.
Hargrave early last year. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I feel pretty good about the defense.
I agree. And one thing about what I saw, with our defense is having that combination of Nick Bosa and Michael Williams. I'm really excited to see how the development of that D line goes throughout the season. I know Michael Williams was kind of quiet last game, but he was also double teamed more than anyone else in the league, which is crazy. I saw that stat. He was double teamed more than Myles Garrett, more than, Aiden Hutchinson, more than these kind of players. Michael Williams, the rookie. I have no idea why, but that's kind of just what happened, I guess. So I'm excited. This last game we got pulled out with a win. It wasn't the prettiest win, but we got a win. Right, and a win is a win. I think one thing that went really good, like you said, was our defense. One thing that I really love to see was second year Ricky Pearsall. We've had this narrative, this whole off season. It's like, oh, the 49ers don't have receivers. 49ers don't have receivers. Who's going to take that big step? And everybody kind of expected Jauan Jennings to do that, right? Everybody kind of expected, I'll put the weight of wide receiver 1 on Jauan Jennings. But Ricky Pearsall really came out week 1 and said, hey, I'm here. I can do this. I believe he had 6 receptions for over 100 yards. 4 receptions for 108 yards. No touchdowns, but it was just he had a really good. He did have a really good.
He had
game.
An almost touchdown. He had almost touchdown. But biggest play of the game. Was that Purdy deep ball to Pearsall that set up the that game-winning drive. Pearsall, he came through clutch, that's for sure.
Well, let me ask you guys this. I think one of the big things that we, as brothers, we talk about is the load that Shanahan and the offensive coordinator put on Christian McCaffrey, right? That's a big question that we all kind of talk about a lot. What kind of load does Christian McCaffrey carry? And this game, he rushed 22 times, had 69 yards, and he had 9 receptions for 73 yards, right? What do you guys – I mean, we picked up Brian Robinson Jr., right? He had 9 rushing attempts for 33 yards. What do you guys think about the kind of weight that Shanahan and the offense puts on Christian McCaffrey, and how long do you think he could sustain this?
Well, obviously I expected a little bit more carries for Robinson, but obviously McCaffrey is our guy. He is the offensive player of the year for us, the record-breaking touchdowns, consecutive games. He's just a touchdown machine. He can run the ball. He could pass. He could catch the ball. He'll just do anything for us. He's our key to our offense. But obviously he's very kind of injury prone. with his Achilles tendonitis and his calf injury. It's not easy to stay healthy with this type of load that he's getting, but he's kind of the key to our offense. But I think we should kind of get more Guerrero in. Guerrero showed really nice things last year. He stepped in for Jordan Mason, and he was a really good piece to this offense as well. So I think we can start mixing up some, like, as soon as Jordan James gets healthy, Jordan James, Guerrero, Brian Robinson, just a bunch of things that we can help McCaffrey with to keep that load off of him, but also keep letting him help our offense out.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's kind of a catch-22, right? It's like McCaffrey. It's like if it's working, right? It was working last week with the at least McCaffrey in the passing game. It's like if it's working, how do you get away from that? You're right. If the offense is going through him, how do you get away from that? And how do you also balance his workload? So yeah, it's a fine line that is tough to. I'm sure it's tough on Shanahan and the coaching staff to toe that line as far as the balance between his workload and having the offense run through him. It is definitely hard to imagine him staying healthy over the course of 17 games, getting 30 touches a game. I mean, that's going to be hard. It doesn't seem like calf issues or Achilles tendonitis or things that just go away. So it's always going to be a concern, I feel, at this point, at his stage in his career. I think it's always going to be on the back of everyone's mind. You just got to hope that, that he can stay healthy and that someone else can step up. I think Robinson was a solid pickup, but obviously he can't do the things that McCaffrey can do, in space or in the passing game.
Nobody can.
Right, yeah, no.
Yeah.
And so if one of those guys, if Guerrero or Jordan James can step up and maybe, get a third down rep here and there where they can come in on a passing situation and it kind of ease the load a little bit. I mean, I think that would definitely help. I think getting our receiving core healthy would definitely help with Jennings and when we get Kittle back, when we get Ayuk back, if we can get that'll definitely help as well. I think a big part of it was also the offensive line this last week. I think Purdy was pressured more than he's ever been in his career. I think this last game. Right. Yep. So I think that also has a lot to do with if he's got to get the ball out quick. I mean, obviously it's going to be to like McCaffrey around the line of scrimmage. So we saw a lot of that last week with the checkdowns. I think as our offensive line kind of gets more cohesive as the season goes on, I think that's definitely going to help because we can't have Purdy getting pressured as often as he did in week 1.
Yeah, agreed. And speaking of Purdy, I think Purdy really did play a great game. I know we have the 2 picks out there, right? But I personally, I really do think Purdy played a great game. That first drive was incredible. That last drive was incredible. And he showed flashes of, just like really great, like greatness in between drives. He did have throw the 2 picks, right? And, one thing that we were talking about the other day that I want to bring up is like, you don't really want to, like, how do I put this? Well, one thing I want to bring up is that that's almost kind of just how Brock Purdy plays. That's almost kind of just Brock Purdy's play style. He will take those risks. He will give his guys the one-on-one shot, right? He will do that. And sometimes it pays off, like with Jake Tonges, right? And sometimes it won't, right? But I think just having that, like you said, that solidified offensive line to give him more the comfort, I guess you could say, to make those better reads or to time his passes more. He may not feel as rushed to make that risky throw, right? Or as pressured to throw it, to someone that's in triple coverage or something, So
right, we've seen this from Purdy. I mean, he even admitted himself as far as like how his season went last year is like we will see Purdy force things sometimes, right? I mean, if we'll see him press and we'll see him kind of force things and we'll see those throws here and there. I mean, sometimes they're going to work, just like the last play of the game or the last, the game-winning touchdown with Jake Tonges. I mean, I think of some of those plays that were like magic, like they were magic, right? They worked in 2023. They worked. Like one of the plays that comes to me is like the Jaguars game the touchdown in the back of the end zone to Brandon Ayuk, it was like, how many quarterbacks let that ball go, right, and give Ayuk a chance to make that touchdown in the back of the end zone against the Jaguars? So there's like plays like that come to mind. That's like, yeah, he's a gunslinger, right? He's gonna take risks. If he doesn't have his full, that's why it's important to get our receivers healthy, because if he doesn't have his full complement of playmakers, I mean, he's not gonna have a choice but to force things and stuff. So we're gonna see that, and you kind of live and you die with that. But I think we're getting that's just who Purdy is at this point. I mean, he's obviously proven to be successful and lead this team. So yeah, it comes with the territory with him, and I think it's just gonna obviously get better once we have our full complement of playmakers.
Yeah, and one thing, kind of shifting a little bit to 49ers, right, versus Seattle. We're down at maybe the inside the 20-yard line in the red zone. Fourth down, we have to kick it, right? We have to kick it. Every 49ers fan is thinking the same thing right now. We have to kick it inside the 20. Yeah. Jake Moody comes up and misses. How far? Do you guys remember how far of a kick that was?
It was like a 27-yard. It was like a 27-yard kick, I think, and he doinked it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I'm at a loss for words right now. I think I think every single 49ers fan had the exact same reaction as Kyle Shanahan did, right, when we saw that. Tell me a little bit about your frustrations when you saw that.
Well, what I was thinking, and what I always think when we put Jake Moody up to kick, is like, are we really like going to kick this? Like, can we just? I don't want to kick this, but I know as football, like you have to kick this. You have to give him the kick. But obviously it's Jake Moody. He's not gonna make those type of kicks. It's like an easy, simple kick. Our easy kickers can do that. Kids at my high school can make that kick. Kids at my high school can make that kick, and it's just we just keep giving him chances and chances and chances, and he never gets them through. So.
Yeah, I think after last year and stuff, we know that Shanahan, that going for it on fourth down is not Shanahan's style. We know, like, years of watching Shanahan, we know how conservative Kyle Shanahan is. He's not one that's gonna go for it on fourth downs. He's gonna take the points. And after seeing, after the year that Jake Moody had, now he comes in week one. The Niners obviously, I'm sure they had a chance to replace him over the offseason. They gave him the vote of confidence, brought him back in as our kicker, and here we go, week one, right? He's missing, and the second Shanahan loses confidence in him and doesn't want to kick that field goal on fourth down. I mean, I feel like that's kind of it, right? Like, you can't.
It was evident. The rest of the game, you see Shanahan kind of being a little more risky than he normally is, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah, so I think we kind of all were like, you know what? I don't even care who it is. Like, we were kind of just like, all right, it's time to move on. It doesn't even matter who's kicking next game. Like, it's kind of just time to move on. And
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I thought back on the whole Debo and the commotion, our long snapper getting into it last year, and I'm like, oh man, that's
it starts fights. I think one frustration too was after the game. Kyle Shanahan was asked right away. Kyle Shanahan was asked, like, any thought in replacing Jake Moody. Basically, I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember what the question specifically was, but he put, there's no thought to it. Basically, he's like, we don't plan on doing that, basically. And then a day later, we see Jake Moody cut, right? In a press conference, Kyle Shanahan, the way he explained to me, not to me, but like the way he explained it and the way I heard it was when Kyle Shanahan explained when he was in Washington, a very similar situation happened where they had their kicker, right? And their kicker had cost them multiple games. Kyle Shanahan goes to the head coach and tells him, we need to get rid of this guy. And you can watch the press conference. I'm sure it's like on 49ers YouTube or wherever else, right? We need to get rid of this guy. Head coach says no. They cost him another game. then he goes on to, they cost him another game. They cut him. That kicker the very next year goes on to be a Pro Bowl kicker, right? Highest paid kicker for the next 3 years, right? The thing is, I really hope that's the case for Jake Moody. We put up a third round pick for Jake Moody. He cost us so many games. Some even say he cost us the Super Bowl. And I personally, I think we wouldn't have been tied in the fourth quarter if we had made that field goal in the Super Bowl earlier in the game, right? It wouldn't have gone into overtime. That's what I say. It could have played out completely different. But I think that was Kyle Shanahan kind of like, that's why he tried so hard for Jake Moody. He had the confidence in him. He wanted him to work out. But it got to the point where you're costing us too many games. I hope your career goes well, but it's not going to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And we went on to sign, was it Eddie Pinheiro?
Yeah.
And he kicked for the Panthers. Was it last year, a couple of years ago? I'm excited. As long as he can make a few cakes, I'm fine with that. So yeah, I think overall last game went well. There's some things we need to improve on, some things we need to polish up, but last game did go well. Moving on to next game, we play against New Orleans Saints, right? New Orleans going into the season have not been looked as a very strong team, right? Everybody kind of thinks New Orleans. I think they're what I saw in like the betting world, I guess, is their over under in wins is like 4 games or like 3.5 games. So it's like there's really not a lot of confidence in the Saints doing well this year. Still, to that point, that doesn't mean we let off the gas. We still need to go out there. I know we lost. We don't have Brock Purdy this week. Jawan Jennings was limited in practice yesterday, I believe.
It's probably not going to play.
He's questionable, right? We have no George Kittle. So it's kind of, there's a lot of these questions going into this game. How are we going to do, basically? And what are we going to do? How are we going to do? How's Mac Jones going to look under center, right? Who's going to kind of step up again, And these are the questions that we have going into this game. And I just wanted to ask what are your guys' worries going into this game? And what do you think the 49ers need to do in order to win this game?
You go ahead.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously, like you can't sleep on anyone in this league. The Saints last week, even like for majority of the game, it was only like a 2-score game against Arizona. So, they played the Cardinals a little tougher than I think anyone expected them to. So, yeah, now going into week 2 with our backup quarterback with Mac Jones, I think for me, I probably expect a game that's similar to last week. One where, we saw our offense kind of struggle with Purdy last week as it is. And so now going into week 2 with our backup, still on the road in New Orleans, I think our game plan is probably going to be similar to the path to winning is going to be similar to last week, in that our defense needs to step up. And I think they will. I think our defense could definitely hold, Spencer Rattler and the Saints in check. And it's whether our offense can put up enough points. I think I see us going through, McCaffrey again. I know we have Kendrick Bourne back in town, and he'll likely operate there as I don't know if he's the number 2 receiver right away, right? Like he steps in, and is he the second option as
because Scantling is the number 2, right? He would be
with
the
Jennings,
number 2 right now.
With Jennings out, we got Pearsall, and who's after that?
Marcus Scantling, and then
MVS,
Sky Moore.
And Sky Moore, wow.
Yeah. So I'm expecting a lot of the same as last week. Hopefully with better success in the red zone, as far as at least putting points on the board with Eddie Pinheiro, and I think if we can go in there and survive. Obviously we seeing this game in the beginning of the season, you kind of pencil it in a win, and it's like, oh yeah, that's going to be an easy one. But obviously didn't expect to be going into the game without our starting quarterback, without George Kittle, without our number two, without our one of our top receivers. And so now it's like, yeah, kind of gotta adjust those expectations and not not sleep on the Saints here. So I don't think it's necessarily like a trap game. I don't think it's a game that we can like expect to lose. I think between our coaching staff, our defense, and running the offense through CMC and Pearsall, I think there's still enough to get the job done, and so you just hope they go out there and execute.
Yeah. I think we just need to get through this game, keep everybody healthy. We just need to, like you said, not sleep on the Saints. Obviously, they're not a highly thought of team to be winning games, but this Niners, we've lost a lot of our starters. We've lost a lot of good people, like due to injuries and stuff, and we just need no more injuries. Let's just get through this game and just keep on pushing the season.
Yeah. Well, the Saints have a few players out this week. Chase Young, former 49er, former Commander, right? He'll be out this game. They have one of their starting guards out, and as well as they also have one of their Julian Blackman, their safety. He will be out as well. So I think, they also have one of their tackles that's questionable, limited in practice. Overall, I see a big game from CMC here. I really do. I do see a big game from CMC, and I see a really big game from our defense. I think our defense will step up. Again, I we acknowledge it's not a team to go light on, and just to say, oh, we'll kind of breeze by. Like, no, we got to fight for every win in the NFL. You got to do it. So it's not anything we can take lightly. It's just something that we're going to have to, fight for, and I think our defense will step up. I think Fred Warner, D. Winters, Nick Bosa, Michael Williams. I have confidence in our defense in this game. Another player I have confidence in, Mac Jones. I know. It's Mac Jones. It's Mac Jones. I really think he'll play a solid game. His first year with the Patriots, he did solid. And then he kind of just stepped down from there, going down from there. But I really do think we could see a good Mac Jones game, basically.
Yeah, we've seen a number of players. This is going to be a test for the coaching staff. We've seen a number of quarterbacks step in and have success in Shanahan's system, and I think it's going to be a test really for our coaching staff to be able to game plan the offense around Mac Jones under center. So, yeah, I think as long as he can limit mistakes and sustain drives, even if it's just getting us in position for our new kicker to come in and put points on the board, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, agreed. To wrap it up, what's our score predictions, Georgie? Starting with you.
For this game.
For this game.
All right. So I think obviously the Niners are gonna win, but the Saints, I think they will get a couple scores in. I think it won't be too close, but it could stay a little bit of a low scoring game for us. So I want to say 20 to 13.
Okay. Jorge?
Yeah, I think without Kittle, I think our red zone struggles continue, and I do think that our new guy, Eddie Pinheiro, I think he comes in clutch. I think he gets 3 field goals. We get a touchdown, and it's 16. And I'm going to say the Saints get a touchdown and maybe a field goal, and it's 16-10.
Okay. I also feel I for the Saints, I think I'm thinking 10 points. They get a touchdown and a field goal. For the Niners, I'm a little optimistic. I think in the red zone, I think McCaffrey could have a good game. Like I said before, I think McCaffrey gets 2 touchdowns this game. I don't think he got a single touchdown last game, right? I may be wrong. I don't believe he got a touchdown last game, but I think McCaffrey can get 2 touchdowns this game. And so I mean, whether it's him or he gets one and Pearsall gets another, or who knows, maybe Tonjes or something. But I'm thinking 20-10. I'm thinking a 20-10 score. We get 2 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals. I think we'll come out with the win on this one.
Yeah. I'm just gonna check what's the Vegas line on that one. It's they have 40.5, so 40.5 over under.
For total
I don't know.
points.
I think we all have it. Yeah, I think we all have it under, but I would I'd be pleasantly surprised if we hit the over. So
yeah, I would.
Yeah. Should we go over win predictions for other teams around the week?
Well, we have quite a few games going on this week. We got let's see, we had
Super Bowl rematch with the Eagles and Chiefs.
Super Bowl rematch, Eagles and Chiefs. What do you guys think? Who do you guys think will come out on top?
I think the Eagles will come on top. Obviously, they're looking really like they can do it again this year. Obviously, I'm not a huge Eagles fan, but they look like a really, really young, well-built, like, good team. Their defense may be the best defense in the league. They have a really great offense, young weapons. I think they have what it takes to do it again, beat the Chiefs.
Well, for me, I can't bet against Patrick Mahomes to lose twice in a row. I know their wide receivers are a little banged up, but I do think the Chiefs can come out on top with this one. I have the Chiefs winning this one.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd probably have to pick the Eagles in this one, just because they're coming in, healthier and kind of rolling. Right, they steamrolled them in the Super Bowl. They didn't play their best game. Obviously, a lot has been made about like the Eagles receivers and their what their lack of involvement in the first game, and I think with the Chiefs stout run defense, I think we're gonna see more of AJ Brown and Devonta Smith this week, and I think the Eagles go in and win.
Yeah, another game that is going to be pretty exciting. Sunday Night Football, Falcons Vikings. A lot of people are bringing up the national championship, right?
Yeah, rematch. Yep.
Rematch.
JJ McCarthy and Michael Penix.
Michael Penix. Yep. So, who do you guys have winning those games?
So I think that'll be a good game right there.
I think Drake London was limited in practice a couple of days ago. I think he's back in.
He's good, both right? Him and Darnell Mooney are both good to go.
With that, I got to take the Falcons. I'm taking the Falcons. I think they have a really high-powered offense. Michael Penix looks good. I think Drake London is set for a big game. Bijan Robinson, probably the best running back, one of the best running backs in the league, if not the best. I mean, Saquon looked really good last week too. So I don't know, but I have to take the Falcons here. I think the Falcons come out on top with this one.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. Like the Falcons, they look like they have a really good offense here, and I don't know if McCarthy will be able to keep up with that. And also, the Falcons do have some good pieces on defense, and McCarthy he looked okay versus the Bears last week. Earlier this week, he looked alright, but fourth quarter he kind of stepped up and he took it on top. But I don't think he'll be able to keep up that same thing with the Falcons.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I think it's gonna be a good game. I think the Vikings, obviously they also have a good defense. Brian Flores is one of the best defensive coordinators. It's gonna be interesting to see how he game plans around the Falcons offense, especially with their full complement of playmakers back now with Mooney coming back. I am gonna take the Falcons in this one, but I think it's gonna be close. Also nice to see our guy Jordan Mason doing well with the Vikings.
Yeah.
So that's kind I think we all kind of miss Mason around here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that'll be a good one. But I'm gonna side with you guys and take the Falcons.
Yeah. Well, last storyline I want to follow. Last little storyline. Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert played MVP type caliber game last week against the Chiefs. And was it Chiefs? Yeah, Chiefs. Justin Herbert. A lot of
people
looked amazing.
Saying, yeah, he did.
He looked really good. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are saying he's gonna fight for the MVP this year. I don't know, because Josh Allen also played a perfect game, literally a perfect game against the Ravens last week. Chargers and Raiders. Geno Smith looked great. Geno Smith looked really good in that offense. Ashton Jeanty looked okay. He wasn't like as explosive as we thought he was going to be in week 1.
Also, you got to take the Raiders O-line into consideration.
And their O-line into consideration. I take the Chargers over for this one pretty easily. But I just want to point out, man, Justin Herbert looked really good. I think a lot of people were expecting a run-heavy offense week 1 against the Chiefs for the Chargers. A lot of people were expecting, Najee and Omarion Hampton to just go off, I think this is the game that Omarion Hampton and Najee could have a solid game, but I still think Justin Herbert's gonna go off this game for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you. Another game that I'm actually going to be keeping an eye on, the Dolphins and Patriots. I think is going to be interesting. I think, can the Dolphins bounce back? And what happens if the Dolphins go 0-2, right, and they lose to a division opponent, and the Patriots that they, a team like the Dolphins maybe coming into the season are expected to beat. And what's the potential fallout for if the Dolphins continue to struggle and lose, right? What happens to Tyreek?
McDaniels.
What happens to McDaniels? What happens to that team, to that offense going forward? And then also on the other side with the Patriots, I mean, a lot of people were on a year 2 breakout for Drake May. He obviously looked amazing. He looked really good in his time last year after he became the starter, and then expectations for a year 2 breakout. So how does he look against a defense that struggled against Daniel Jones last week? So how does can Drake May? He had his moments last week, but he also left a lot on the board with some errant passes. So that's going to be one that I'm interested into, is seeing the Patriots and the Dolphins with the directions they're going.
Yeah, agreed for sure. I think Drake May, everybody was expecting him to do really good last week, especially against the Colts. Colts played
the Raiders. Colts played the Dolphins, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Against the Raiders, I mean. But he didn't look too good. He didn't look too solid. One guy, I know it's your guy, Jorge, that kind of broke out last game, Keyshawn Boutte. He looked he looked pretty solid. He looks like Drake May's probably favorite receiver right now. But yeah, I'm excited to see kind of how the development of both the Patriots and Miami go this year. I think Miami is definitely in like a really tough position right now. I think McDaniels is in the hot seat, in my opinion. I think Tyreek Hill could get traded. We could see a Tyreek Hill trade. And it kind of just depends on how their season plays out. Let's see. There's a few other games that are pretty solid. A lot of them are kind of like, you kind of expect one team to win and the other team to lose.
I want to point out a game that I think will be a very high-scoring game. Bengals-Jaguars, I think, will be a really high-scoring game.
That'll be a fun one. Yeah,
that'll be a fun game to watch. I think BTJ.
What do you guys think about the Jaguars, man?
Yeah. That's. I think it's obviously with them getting Liam Cohen from the Buccaneers and him bringing that offense over, it's all gonna ride on Trevor Lawrence. That's gonna be a good one though. That's gonna be a fun game to watch, to see like if Lawrence can support a lot of pieces in that offense that I think we all like, with obviously Travis Hunter is one of the headliners there. how his development, how he looks in the offense, how many snaps he's getting on defense. There's a lot of pieces that I like on the Jaguars, like Brenton Strange, and obviously Brian Thomas Jr. Broke out as one of the league's best receivers last year.
I think somebody who will break out and take over the starting spot is the Jaguars running back Tootin. I think he will take over ETN, and he'll play a big role in this offense soon enough.
Yeah, I think Tootin. ETN looked good last week, but I think ETN. I think as the season goes, could probably he'll have his role as well.
Split,
yeah, and then obviously the Bengals, the Brown, they always kind of seem to. I mean, the Browns obviously have a great defense. Bengals have kind of start off slow again, but it was against a tough Browns defense, so I expect the Bengals offense to be clicking this week against the Jaguars, and that's going to be a good game.
I expect Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow to bounce back with a huge game.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I agree. I think I will say I do think the Bengals this season kind of have their back against the wall right now. The Bengals have been one of those teams these last few years that have been expected to be really good. But I think it's a lot of people look at their high-powered offense with, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and even Chase Brown had a really good year last year. Everybody looks at their offense, but nobody really looks at their defense, and that's with reason, I do think the Bengals are one of those teams that kind of really have to prove it this year. If they don't make the playoffs, I don't know what's going to happen this year. They have a lot of pressure on them. I take the Bengals coming out on top with this game, but I do think it will be a high scoring game. I do see that going as well.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Last little bit, I want to kind of breeze through it. We have Seattle and Pittsburgh, right? I think Sam Darnold against the 49ers last week, I think he looked really good. A lot of people weren't really expecting him to be so good again in a new offense, new head coach, new everything, new system. But he did it last year with the Vikings. New offense, new head coach, new year, new system, right? I honestly think he looked really good with Seattle's last week against the Niners. Aaron Rodgers threw for 4 touchdowns. This is like a lot of people are, man, this is what 2022 Aaron Rodgers, is that who what everybody's kind of comparing it to? I don't fully expect Rodgers to keep it up all year, but I do think he will have a good season. I can even see Aaron Rodgers, if he does have a good season, retiring after this year. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I think that'll also be a pretty good game to watch.
Yeah, we have DK playing against obviously his former team with the Seahawks. I think that what's going to be interesting to see, I at least with Seattle, is like they have JSN, but what else? Can they get the running game going? I think that's going to be important for them. And who else in the passing game can step up? Whether it's Cooper Kupp, whether it's the Ricky Horton, whether it's the Ricky tight end or Elijah Arroyo. I feel like someone else. It can't be. I think JSN had like over a 40% target share for the Seattle. He got like over 40% of their targets. Okay, like if he's getting that many targets, but they're losing. I mean, obviously, something's got to change. So, is it the running game that steps up? Is it another receiver? So that'll be interesting. And then, with the Steelers, obviously the Rodgers connection with Metcalf and him running that offense. That'll be another interesting one.
Yeah, speaking of the running game, it looks like Charbonnet is stepping up and taking over Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker is obviously a great running back. I like him as a player, but Charbonnet got more carries, more yards, more efficient than K9.
Depending on how the season goes, I wouldn't be surprised I don't know if there's a hot take or what. I wouldn't be surprised if Seattle trades Kenneth Walker before the deadline.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a pending free agent right after this year, so I could see that.
Also, I think we'll see some good things out of Jalen Ramsey this game versus Seahawks.
Yeah, I agree. I think we will. I take Pittsburgh winning this game over Seattle if Aaron Rodgers can keep it up. I do see Pittsburgh. I really hope Pittsburgh gets their running game going a little bit more with Caleb Johnson, the rookie. partially because I have him in fantasy. But it would be nice to see the rookie kind of take a few more share in snaps. I think he only rushed like twice last game. But yeah. Well, that was First and Faithful, everyone. And we really hope you enjoyed this first episode. We will be doing our best to come out with a new episode every week. We want to break down what happened in our previous game, what to look forward in the next game, what's going on around the league. And we're going to post this to Spotify, YouTube, and whatever other platform we can. But if you have any ideas, and if there's a comment section on the platform that you have, if you have any ideas for different segments that we can do, feel free to share it. We'd love to maybe do like a fantasy football section, or have like just a hot take section. I don't know, something, right? That would be good. But yeah, this was first week of First and Faithful. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Anything you guys want to say?
Nah,
just looking forward to the season.
We'll be back next week with another episode.
Yeah. Well, good luck 49ers for this week. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.